start talking about parkour and what does it mean and what do you do.
Sure. And do you want me to include this building yet, or just talk about it later? Or?
Yeah, just say anything you want.
Okay, sure.
You can start
Okay.
now.
Okay. So parkour is a training method for the mind and the body, and the idea is to train the mind and the body in many different ways that will challenge it and push it to progress. So the idea is to face physical and technical challenges that will be difficult for the body, and find ways to overcome things that everyday people would find quite difficult. So it involves running, jumping and climbing techniques, largely. And the idea behind it is to sort of pass obstacles that are in your way, whether they're physical, mental, or any other kind of confined, essentially. So it's kind of based on training around obstacle courses and the military training that used to do on obstacle courses. So yeah, it's something that's developed since the early 1980s in France, and it's kind of developed largely on the internet and spread that way quite quickly. And now it's largely practiced all over the world. It's spread very quickly in the last 20 years.
How popular is it in London?
Okay, so parkour is very popular in London. I think it's one of the most popular cities for parkour at the moment. It's always growing, it's always getting bigger, and the community here is very positive and very connected. The guys train together quite regularly from different groups, different parts of London. So in terms of the architecture here as well, it's a great place to train. The way London is built is very complementary to parkour and the way that we like to move. So community-wise, I think London is kind of one of the best cities to train parkour.
You could start telling me about this place and how did you start this place?
Okay. So we found this building in late December 2013. And we'd been looking for quite a while for a place to call home and to build our dream training facility, I guess. So most of our classes run outdoors. And if we were going to build an indoor space, we want to try and replicate the outdoor environment as much as possible, which is why there's no mats in here. It's all hard surfaces with concrete, wood, metal. So it's designed to prepare people for outside training and to replicate an outdoor training environment. So yes, we have a roof and we have heating, so we can train here winter, nighttime, middle of the night, we still have some lighting. But the whole idea of it is to replicate an outdoor environment rather than try and create a soft space indoors. So a lot of the gyms that you see in parkour gyms, they have a lot of soft surfaces, either bouncy floors or a lot of soft obstacles. So we wanted the opposite approach here, to try and replicate the outdoor environment and to keep things a little bit more authentic, in our view at least. So we've been open for 3 weeks now. This is our third week. We run classes every single day. We have open training sessions between 7 in the morning and 10 p.m. at night. So open all the time. It's getting gradually busier per day. So every day more and more people coming into the doors, coming to check it out and see what we do here. So exciting first few weeks. I think the next month or two will grow significantly as the word spreads. People come and check it out and tell their friends. But so far we're very happy with the space and the way it's developed. The guys took the last kind of 9-10 weeks to build this place from an empty shell, and it's been a nice bonding experience for us as a team as well to really put all the effort into this. So it was all painted, built, hammered, and scraped together over the last sort of 9-10 weeks just from a core group of about 8 guys. So it's been an interesting couple of months. It's been great.
Thank you. Tell me about the kind of people who come and join here.
So there's a massive range of people that come and use this space. We have people that are professional athletes, all the way to people who have never done sport before or tried anything. So it's a massive range, male and female. And because the space is quite diverse and there's lots to do here, you find people coming here just to use a dance space for some dancing work or some technical work there. There's a lot of people just come to use the parkour space. Some guys just use it for weightlifting. So it's quite a nice mix of community, mix of people. And everyone brings their own energy to the community here, I guess. So everyone's sharing ideas. It's a kind of a nice melting pot for ideas and different training disciplines. So it's not just parkour, which is great. We share our way of training with a lot of people that come through the door, and they also share the way they train in different ways. So it's kind of becoming a community space for different sports, different people, from different backgrounds, which is really nice. It's creating a nice community here of its own, one that's quite unique.
Nice. Like if I don't have any training before in parkour, would you recommend me to join it? Do we have to have any specific training before coming here, or just anyone?
Okay. So we do have beginners classes on our schedule. They run twice a week in the chain store, and we also have various classes around London as well. But to be honest with you, anyone can come to any class. So there's always different ranges of of activities in the actual classes themselves. So we usually have a beginner group, a more experienced group, and we'll put people in the correct group for them, depending on their ability, their background, and how confident they feel that day, I guess. So it can be a little sore on some days, a little bit more fresher on different days. So we kind of judge it as we go through. We always do a thorough warm-up first. We have a conversation with the students before the class, find out what their background is, if it is their first time, and put them in an appropriate group for them, really. So depending on their confidence levels, physical ability, technical ability, we can pretty quickly figure out their potential in parkour, at least for the first couple of days, and put them into the right group for them. So we always start very basic, completely simple, small movements, working on balance, and just being able to support your body weight in different positions. And then building blocks from there, we just work up slightly higher each week. Higher in terms of the demands, not in terms of the actual height itself. So on YouTube you always see the big, high roof gaps, things like that. So that's only one very, very small part of parkour. Most of it's ground level. The vast majority of people train just at ground level. That's the way you retrain all the techniques right there. So it might look risky on TV because people only show the big jumps, but when it boils down to it, most of the training is done ground level, low level, where it's perfected. And from there, if people want to add a little bit more distance to it, or height, or complexity, then that's, I guess, their own style of parkour, their own way of developing it for themselves. So, as a complete beginner, we have beginners walk through our doors every single week with no background at all in any sports, and we take them to a very high level to stick around. So it might take a year, might take 2 or 3 years, depending on how dedicated they are. But some of our best students are guys who just walked in the door, no experience, and just stuck around, came back week after week, and trained really hard.
Thank you. And have you, people who come here, do they belong to the local area, like Tower Hamlets, or is it, you think this center is bringing something good for the community in the area?
I think absolutely, because of the location of this academy here. I think most of the people who come here are locals. They live in the Tower Hamlets area, or East India in general, or East London in general. So it's been nice to get a whole new crowd of people into our classes, because most of our other classes are in West London right now. So it's really opened the doors to a new market, giving people something in the area for people to do. It's a bit different, I guess, because parkour isn't so well known in East London, I'd say. So it's a new hub, a new central place for them to come and train. And yeah, I think the majority of people who come through our classes here are based in the area.
How do you see, I'm just going to change it for a second.
So I can see this place becoming very busy in the next couple of months, and developing from there, becoming very popular, a bit more structured in the next couple of years. So we're going to add a lot more structures inside the building for the next couple of years. This is kind of stage one of the build as we see it today, with the scaffolding, all the boxes, and the weightlifting equipment. Stage two will be adding a lot more stuff to it, so more things for people to train with and train on. We're considering looking at a second floor as well, which will have a lot more potential and places to add more training material, really. So it will always be growing, always be evolving, and the idea behind a good parkour space is that it can always adapt. So you have to adapt to the space, but a good space should also be able to adapt in some way itself to continue the training, continue the people moving forwards, I guess. So we'll always expand it, we'll always change it around. On a monthly basis, we change a few bars around, we move a few boxes, and then bolt it all back in place very, very securely. So the space is always changing. People walk through the door after a week of not being here, and you'll notice some differences. You'll find some new jumps, new things to climb. The idea of the space is that it's always evolving and always changing, and hopefully always improving as well.
Great. And just to finish,
Yep.
how would you define in a very few words the parkour experience from your heart?
I think parkour for me is about freedom. It's about not being constrained or stopped by obstacles or things that might be in your way, and realizing that if you're willing to work hard at something, then you can overcome almost anything. So if you look at a wall on your first day that's twice your height, it might look impossible to overcome that. With a bit of time, a bit of training, learning the technique, and developing the actual body strength to go over that wall, you realize that your problems in the rest of your life can also be overcome in the same way. So it's just treating it as a problem, treating it as an obstacle that can be faced and dealt with, and finding a step-by-step procedure for overcoming it, I guess. So it's a nice way to look at life, overcoming obstacles and anything that's in your way. So I'd say parkour is a nice reflection of that. It teaches you to face obstacles and problems with a positive mindset, rather than just focusing on the things that might seem too much. Parkour is about freedom in a lot of ways.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I just what you look over here and you just tell me why do you like parkour and what did it inspire you to come and join these classes? And
I'm Katie, and I wanted to try parkour for a long time, but I never thought someone like me could do anything like that. And I think what I like about it and what keeps me going is that you end up doing things that you never thought you'd ever be able to do. Everyone's really supportive and everybody's helpful, even though they seem so much better at it than you.
what's the most difficult thing you have done so far?
Doing anything even slightly high up. I'm terrified of heights. Yeah. Maybe the hardest thing was I used one step to get up that wall last week. That was quite hard because I'm not very tall.
Okay, just the very last thing. Can you apply the key of doing? Can you apply what you do in parkour to your life? Like it's quite challenging and
Yeah. It teaches you to face fear, all kinds of fears. So yes, you can.
Can you say yes? You can apply parkour into your life.
Okay. You can apply parkour into your life because it helps you to face fear and makes you become a stronger person in every way.
Lovely. Thank you.